So there's a big government announcement just around the corner, and believe me, it's going to have a real impact on your wallet. We're talking about the midterm budget policy statement. And today, we're going to break down what it's signaling for your financial health and, probably more importantly, what you can actually do about it. Does this hit a little too close to home? You know that feeling, right? When you're constantly juggling bills and just feeling that end of month squeeze? Well, you are definitely not alone. So many South Africans are feeling the pressure of rising costs, and it's absolutely crucial to understand the economic signals that could tighten things even more. All right, I want you to circle this date on your calendar, November 12th. Now, this isn't just another day in Parliament. This is when the finance minister presents what's called the Medium-Term Budget Policy Statement, or MTBPS for short. Think of it as the first major clue about the government's financial plans, and those plans can directly affect you. Okay, I know that acronym MTBPS sounds super complicated and, a bit boring, but don't worry, we're going to strip away all the jargon and break down exactly what it is and why it really, really matters to you. So, what is the MTBPS, really? The easiest way to think about it is like a financial roadmap. It's the government's mid-year update, checking in on how much it's earning from taxes versus how much it's spending. Now, it's not the final budget, that comes in February, but it sets the tone. It gives us a very strong hint of what's coming down the line. This right here puts it perfectly. Imagine your boss has that. You don't just wait until December to see what happens, right? Of course not. You instantly start thinking, okay, maybe that big holiday trip isn't a great idea. You adjust. The MTBPS is the exact same kind of signal, just for the whole country's economy and for your own household. So let's get to the most important part of this whole conversation. How do these high-level government plans actually trickle down and affect your daily expenses, your ability to pay the bills and put food on the table? Well, here are the potential pressure points. The MTDPS could signal changes to our taxes, maybe those increases in sin taxes on alcohol and tobacco, or shifts in fuel levies, which of course affect transport costs for everyone. It also gives us clues about spending on public services and the future of social grants, all things that can impact how much money you have left at the end of the day. Let's just zoom in on one of those for a second. Bracket creep. This one is so sneaky, but so powerful. So, you get a salary increase to keep up with inflation, which sounds great. But if the government doesn't also adjust the tax brackets, that raise can actually push you into a higher tax category. The result? You end up taking home less than you expected. And this shows you exactly what that looks like. You're thinking, great, an extra 1,000 Rand in my pocket. But after bracket creep does its thing, you might only see R750 of that. Now, that R250 difference might not seem like a lot, but for many families, that can be the tipping point between paying a bill on time or falling behind. Okay, I know hearing all of this might feel a little daunting, but here's the good news. You can be proactive. You don't have to just sit there and wait for these changes to hit your bank account. Let's talk about a financial first aid kit, some immediate, practical steps you can take to protect your budget right now. These are 4 simple but honestly powerful actions. First, get a really clear picture of where your money is going. No guessing. Second, put a sort of imaginary fence around the non-negotiables: food, transport, school fees. Third, see what you can temporarily pause. Every little bit helps. And this last one is so important. Please, avoid the trap of using new debt to pay off old debt. It's a cycle that just digs a deeper hole. But that's the real question, isn't it? For so many people, simple budget tips just aren't enough because the weight of their existing debt is already overwhelming. When you have 5, 6, or even more debit orders hitting your account every single month, there's simply no room left to cut back. So what do you do then? This is where a more structured, formal solution has to come into play. For anyone who is over-indebted but still has an income, debt review is a regulated process from a provider like Trustory that's specifically designed to help you get back on your feet and regain financial control. So, what kind of impact are we talking about? Well, every case is different, of course, but on average, people under debt review can reduce their total monthly debt payments significantly. Just imagine for a second, what could freeing up an average of 3,500 Rand every single month do for your household? That's not just breathing room, that's genuine peace of mind. See, debt review fundamentally changes the game. Instead of juggling all those different payments, you make just one reduced monthly payment. You get legal protection, which means those harassing calls and messages stop. A professional debt counselor from a firm like Trustory will help you build a realistic budget that puts your family's needs first and creates a clear path to becoming completely debt-free. All right, let's wrap things up with a really crucial point. It can be so tempting to wait and see what the final budget in February holds. But when it comes to your money, waiting is almost never the best strategy. The time to act is now. The signals from this midterm budget are your early warning system. They give you enough information to make smart, proactive decisions to protect yourself and your family. If you're already feeling the financial strain, these signals are your cue to find a sustainable solution before the pressure gets even worse. And really, that's the bottom line. The indicators are all pointing towards a tighter financial environment ahead. So the question for you is, are you going to wait for the storm to hit, or are you going to use this early warning to build your financial shelter now? If you feel like your debt is becoming unmanageable, a free, no-obligation assessment from a registered debt counselor at Trustory can give you a clear plan forward. Thanks for joining this explainer.